So 2025 has been an absolutely stacked year when it comes to music. Like I said in my honorable mentions list, there's been so many albums that I had to just put some apart because they didn't make it in the year end list, but they were still good enough for a shout out. And now we're going to be talking about the best songs of the year. There's been a lot of incredible music, a lot of incredible songs, as I said. So yeah, let's just get right into it because this list is pretty lengthy. So I divided this list in 40 songs, and in my number 40 placement, I have Peter Pan by Brent Faiyaz. This is a smooth, nice R&B song, kind of the typical Brent Faiyaz song that you get at this point, but there's just something like unique at the same time. It feels smooth, it feels like just abstract in a way, and it's just kind of a song that you play in the background while you're chilling. There really isn't that much to it. Kind of wish he dropped that album that he told us he was going to drop, but I think this song will do. At number 39, I have Jonas Freestyle by Mavi. Just short, quick freestyle. I think Mavi just really has a good flow, consistent flow in here. In terms of subject matter, it's a freestyle, so there really isn't super consistent aside of him feeling like he's Giannis. Uh, just kind of feeling like he's in his prime right now, and I think it's kind of a cool song. And yeah, just not much to say, just a cool little banker. I think it will definitely go hard in the workout sessions though. At number 38, I have Arc de Triomphe by Amine. Hopefully I said that thing correctly. Is it French? Probably is French. But yeah, I think this song is just nice, some nice pop. I think he dropped this thing as a lead single to that album he dropped during the summer. It's a nice, kind of fun listen. It sees Amine embracing much more of a dance slash pop elements of his music and style that he has previously, but being much more like obvious and like want to be a club banger than it was before. And I think it works for the most part. It's generally fun. It's just a song that you don't really take that seriously and just listen and vibe to. At number 37, I have De La Voix by Static Selector, Westside Gun, Stove God Cooks, Joy Badass, and Rome Streets. It's a completely stacked song. And I think that when it came out, it just felt like the perfect just song, if anything. I mean, again, those names combined is crazy, and I think this song really offers a banger. It's smooth. It's again Static's usual production. If you've heard his production from Joy Badass's work or even with Freddie Gibbs and stuff, you know what I'm trying to say. It's pretty simple, pretty to the point, and it's just kind of a cool New York hip hop boom bap banger that I remember bumping a lot during this summer. At number 36, I have Sirens from Ireland by Skepta and Finesse Kid. Uh, Skepta is one of my favorite UK rappers of all time, and I feel this song is just another addition why. It's not one of his more lyrically like crazier songs, but his flow in here is out of this world, and I think Finesse Kid did a great job at contributing to Skepta's energy. I mean, both of them like freaking like complement each other like Goku and Gohan basically. They were just in another planet when recording the song. At number 35, I have Pray For Me by Redville. Redville really came strong in here with this song. It's lyrically dense. It feels like he's hungry. He has a lot things more to say after 3 years since his big LP, which is Learn to Swim. I know he dropped an EP around 23 or 24, but in terms of a full-length project, you know, he returned now. This is one of the songs that really just took me by surprise. I think, again, Redville's pen here is crazy. He seems locked in. The production is really nice as well, kind of jazzy, but a bit more grimy as well. I'm really surprised by how the side chains work in here. It kind of feels distorted, but not in a way that it feels like it's clipping too much. It just works in a lot of miraculous ways. Number 34, I have Where You Been by BNX and Len. This is a nice sort of bachata type song, kind of mixing African Afro beats with bachata. It feels in a way where it's not like it's being gentrified, and it feels like it's being like an actual tribute song to the genre. Feels Caribbean. It feels like BNX really did his homework on this song. The production again from him is just great in here. It's catchy, it's nice, it's vibrant, and I think Len's hook is just absolutely addictive. Number 33, we have Egypt remix by Westside Gun and Doechii. A lot of people for some reason have been hating on Doechii this year. I get it. Anxiety is the greatest song ever. Lord knows the amount of times that I've heard that thing to the point I got sick of it. But Doechii still proves as to why she's one of the best new faces of the game. I think she killed it in this remix. I think the original Egypt song by Westside Gun was a little bit lacking. Like, I liked the instrumental, I liked the concept, but it just didn't go that far. But thankfully, Doechii added like an entire other layer with this song, and it meshes so perfectly with West Side Gun's already great foundation. At number 32, I have Life Leak by Ken Carson, one of the more predominant rage voices, and I feel that Life Leak has so many great elements working to it. It's extremely distorted, kind of tells you all about the genre, doesn't waste any time, and the second half slash ending of this song just gets even crazier and more intense than the first half, which just blows my mind, honestly. Number 31, we have Mannequin by Che and Xavier Bass. This is probably my first time listening of Che, or hearing of Che, and listening to an Xavier Bass feature or song. I know I'm pretty late to the party, but I feel Mannequin just was insanely well produced and put together. Like their energy are just on another level. The beat is just in your ears, just in your face. Basically, the bass is out of this world. Che's energy is like a rock star life. Basically, almost reminds me of Carti with Whole Lotta Red. But yeah, they both mesh in so perfectly, and despite the very brief runtime the song has, it packs one hell of a punch. At number 30, I have Iris Out by Kenshi Yonezu. I love Chainsaw Man. The Rise arc, that movie blew my mind away. And what I really, really loved is in the opening credit scene, the song Iris Out. I've listened to this song a billion more times ever since that film. It's just so addictive. I think Kenishi's way of articulating himself, the amount of expressions that he has throughout the song is very funny and just very just interesting, especially the way the song is just formatted and constructed. It feels like a kid with ADHD made it, but in a very good way. There's a lot of nice like piano bits, these weird like horns into the mix, the breakdown with the 808s. It's very hard to label what exactly the genre is. Kind of is like pop, but not really. There's just so many good things about it. I think it's catchy. I think it's goofy. And it not only matches the film perfectly, but it's just a really good song to listen to. At number 29, I have See You Dance by Joey Valence and Bray, featuring Rebecca Black. This is a party anthem. It reminds me like of the early 2000s or 2010s, like party type anthem and songs, which is the entire point of this song and the album where this song is from. I feel like Joey Valence and Bray just brought up the heat in here. Rebecca Black with the incredibly addictive hook. It's just like, it blows my mind just how just how addictive the song is. Like, I can't get the hook out of my head. The production is just, again, reminiscent of that era. It feels like very club-esque, and I would unironically wish to listen to this song a billion more times in the club if it actually can happen. At number 28, I have Life is Beautiful by Larry June, 2 Chainz, and The Alchemist. This is not going to be the only song you're going to hear of The Alchemist. This is a lot of other placements too with The Alchemist. This man has been all over my list. But yeah, Life is Beautiful. What an incredible song. I feel that Larry June's voice sometimes can feel a little bit like lazy on some songs that I've heard, but in this song, it makes sense. It's chill. It's supposed to be chill. There's a flute melody involved in here. You're supposed to be reminiscing about like the beautiful moments of your life. Larry June is talking about his family, how he wakes up at his breakfast instead, just eating his breakfast instead, just chilling. 2 Chainz also add his point of view with his family. It just feels like just feels like a bunch of homies just basically just talking about their lives, kind of like hanging out, like, hey, it's been a while, you know, what are you doing this week? It just kind of gives out that feeling of like this rich, luxurious vibe, but also like down to earth in a way. At number 27, I have Nobody by Freddie Gibbs. I remember hearing this like Nobody interlude from his previous album 2024, and I just kind of wish there was a full-length version of it, and thankfully Gibbs dropped a full-length version of the song, him rapping his ass off. I wish this was in the original album, because man, is it good. You really can't go wrong with Freddie Gibbs in terms of just his flows and stuff, his cadences. It's just generally incredible the way he spazzed on this song. Number 26, I have Afterlife by Evanescence. This is part of the Devil May Cry Netflix series, which a lot of people for some reason disliked. I personally didn't dislike it. I can see the criticisms, but it was personally thought it was an enjoyable show. But anyway, back to the song. Afterlife is just a perfect representation of what Evanescence is, kind of breaking those like bring me back to life vibes, those early 2000s emo kind of like hard rock vibes. And I feel that Afterlife is just a perfect song for the show itself. Lyrically and just production wise, it has so much of a good evolution. Kind of starts off a bit slow, a bit more methodical, to then having this huge outburst of energy in the midsection. It's generally just a perfect Evanescence songs through and through. At number 25, I have Everybody Gets Down by No Worries. I love the last album they dropped, which I believe was Why Lud, which was just an incredible R&B record and probably my favorite R&B record in a long time. Um, and generally, this song, Everybody Gets Down, is a huge departure from that production style, but still is very catchy and just very enjoyable. Kind of embraces its more discotheque club vibes, which is a very weird, strange transition from the original album. But as a bonus track, I think it serves its purpose. Number 24, I have Clear Black Nights by Mobb Deep, Raekwon, and Ghostface Killah. When I heard that Mass Appeal was going to drop the Mobb Deep album, I was a little bit skeptical. But given that we had tracks such as Clear Black Nights, I was blown away. Aside of the singles that came out, which are really well produced and put together, I feel like Clear Black Nights just really stole the entire show for me. The guitar sample here is beautiful and lush, which is something very weird considering it's Mobb Deep, which Mobb Deep usually has more grimier and darker beats. Not that it's a bad thing, but it was very like strange and a kind of a huge like transition. I think Havoc's production here was just incredible. For some reason, it reminded me a lot of Nujabes' production from his older material. Kind of reminded me of Samurai Champloo almost. But yeah, feel that Havoc and rest in peace, Prodigy's posthumous verses just mix so well in here. They're kind of like Prodigy, like I think reminiscing about like his death and the afterlife in here, which just kind of got me teary eyed a little bit. Raekwon and Ghostface Killah as well, including some great performances and verses. They kind of feel like super pumped up, and it's almost like this is like a triumphant moment, kind of like celebrating those that passed away and those that keep on living. And number 23, I have Bodies by Offset and JID. I was very surprised to hear that Offset sampled "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." That one song, I think it's Disturb, right? Disturb was the one that makes that song. It's random song to sample. Also including that they performed in Jimmy Fallon and did this entire metal performance, which was very good. But yeah, Offset really killed it with his entire flow. He really had one hell of a wordplay on this song. And JID, I think personally, would have my favorite part in here, but Offset put on a good show. Both of them were just not on this planet, like I said previously with the other songs. And it's just a surprisingly great collaboration between them. At number 22, I have Ring 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 by Tyler, Creator. What a nice, catchy song. I have not been able to get the song out of my head. It's nice. It's lighthearted. Kind of reminds me of like an earlier, like 2000s or maybe late 90s kind of like pop song, if anything. It feels sweet. It feels just like, I don't know. It feels like you're ODing on sugar because of how sweet it is. It's very lovely. I think it's cute as well. Definitely one of Tyler's most lighthearted and heartwarming songs in recent memory. At number 21, I have Super Nintendo by Armand Hammer and The Alchemist. That loop is just absolutely intoxicating by The Alchemist. I think this was the first single for the Mercy album. Generally, just again, super ear grabbing. A lot of people for some reason didn't love this song a lot. I personally was blown away by it, again because of this how addictive the loop is by The Alchemist, really bringing you back to those like SNES vibes. Almost reminded me like made me feel like I was like playing like a Legend of Zelda game or like a Final Fantasy game in the earlier times for some reason. But yeah, Armand Hammer again, great lyrics, pretty locked in. You can definitely hear Billy Woods and Lucid just like really meshing well together, kind of reminiscing of the old times back when life was a little bit more simpler, playing on the NES or whatever they mentioned in this song. I just feel like it's like a good like reminiscent song, similar to like Life is Beautiful. And number 20, I have Godstained by Quadeca. Quadeca has been putting out some incredible stuff this decade, this year too with Vanisher, and Godstained I feel was probably my favorite song of that album. It is so like refined, so many textures going in there. Goes from folk to sort of having some jazzier segments. It just in this like 5 or 6 minute song opens up so many things. It just has so many details, so many layers. You're just like sitting there like give this guy a Grammy or something. Like this guy's production is just so like ear grabbing. It's generally one of the best produced songs I've heard in a long time. Number 19, I have Father by Jim Legxacy. This is one of the catchiest songs I've heard this entire year. It's very short, but it just has something so like distinct to it. Aside of the music video being super like eye popping and almost like eye candy, really like the editing is incredible, as well as the other songs he released for the album. The music videos are just stunning to look at, very reminiscent of the old 2000s era. But yeah, this song has a lot of personality. One of the better like plug and be type of songs that I've heard this year, and I feel that his the way that Jim like kind of describes himself as, almost like not having a predominant like father figure, but kind of like loving the father figure. I don't know, just feels like very personal, feels very good. It just meshes well in a very odd way, especially given how catchy this song is. Number 18, I have Community by JID and Clipse. This is a very unexpected collab, but kind of makes a lot of sense. I just love how story driven this song is. JID kind of rapping from his side, moving to Virginia, and then from Virginia, like Pusha T taking over, and then Malice at the end takes over too. It was like a nice transition to midsection. It just feels very natural. You go from JID suffering, struggling, trying to get his music career off, being limited to like what he could do, how he can take this music career off, but having still a lot of passion. So he took his talents to Virginia, and like I said, Pusha T just coming into the mix, just like saying, and this is what I saw from Virginia. Like you came from this hell world. I'm coming from this hell world. Like it's like two different sides of the same coin almost, but different perspectives. But at the same time, having similar feelings as well. It's kind of like you leave one hell to then unintentionally visiting another hell. The way they're describing it, that makes any sense. Number 17, I have "Look Down on Us" by Maruja. It's one of the best social commentary songs I've ever heard in my life, really. I mean, the way they emphasize how the rich can look down on the poor, how they're laughing, how they're essentially like just extorting all these resources, and just they're going to keep on doing it because there is no regulation, is very, very deep and disturbing, and it's a very truthful statement within itself, and is something that needs fixing, of course. But I feel the way Maruja hammers it in this song is just the way it needs to be hammered. It's deep, disturbing. The instrumental just feels like this warped, like just hellhole, which is the purpose of it. And yeah, for like 9 or 10 minutes, this is one of the most impressive social commentary songs I've ever heard in my life. Number 16, I have "World's End" by John Michel and Anthony James. This feels like literally like the title implies. It feels like the world is ending. I don't know why, but like this entire like song just reminds me of "Devil in a New Dress" by Kanye West and Rick Ross. It has similar vibes with the electric guitar playing, the maximalistic almost production surrounding John Mitchell's vocals. It just feels like, again, like the world is ending, but like in a beautiful way. He's kind of like reminiscing, and also kind of is like, I have to keep going despite my world kind of ending. I don't know how I'm describing this, but yeah, this is just the way that I feel. It just feels perfect for what it is, and it's one of the best songs I've heard of a duo in recent memory. I have number 15 with "MONSTRUO" by Tainy and Feid. I love Tiny's production. I've glazed him when Data came out, which is the top 5 album of 2023, and I don't know if I mentioned it, but Paciembre was like my favorite song of 2023, and the production here is nothing short by stellar, glitchy, mysterious, and at the end, absolutely beautiful and haunting. Feid's vocals are top notch in here. It reminded me a lot of Jaco, the way he was rapping, the flow and stuff. And I don't know, I think he's really talented when it comes to rapping over Tiny's production. Again, Tiny's bass line is dark, aggressive, surrounds the mix, and is stereoized in a way that's just very interesting. I think the performances overall is just incredible, really. It's just nothing really much to say, but it's just an absolute masterpiece of how you can use a soundscape and how you can really use production in terms of reggaeton and mixing it with electronica. At number 14, I have "Starburst" by Danny Brown. This is without a doubt one of the most impressive Danny Brown songs I've ever heard. It's a huge transition from his, I guess, slower, more methodical approach with Quaranta. Despite him having a much more like hyped up release, like "Scaring the Hose" and more energy, I feel like this song is like a return to like his older days, like Atrocity Exhibition or Old even, which is, I did not try to make that pun. But just the amount of layers and textures are involved here is crazy. Production almost reminds me of something you would hear like in an EDM song. I think Jane Remover helped produce the song. I might be mistaken. I know there's somebody else who produced the song too. But it's just crazy. The synths, the bass lines, the electronic beat, the switch up in the second section, everything feels carefully crafted, and Danny Brown just goes off on this song. It's absolutely crazy. He has like funny bars like "going nuts like Conquer," which if you know, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of cool, funny references in here, and it was just a great teaser for what was gonna happen for Stardust. And number 13, I have "Illegal" by PinkPantheress. It is one of the catchiest songs of the entire year. I think this song is just one of my favorite just pop songs really of this decade. It's just so catchy and engrossing. I think the hook is absolutely addictive on this song. I've heard this song like a billion times on TikTok too. Like, it's a song that you just cannot escape, and really for a good reason. I wish I could hear this song almost every day, but how addictive and just fun it is to listen to. At number 12, I have "For Ross" by EsDeeKid. EsDeeKid has really taken over the entire planet at this point. This man is averaging millions of plays from that album, which is good, and it definitely is in my best albums of the year list, I'll tell you that. But yeah, "For Ross" by EsDeeKid, what a banger opening up to the album, and what a banger song. It's distorted, it's hype. You can tell that EsDeeKid is locked in. It's catchy as well, just because of like his heavy accent for some reason. It just helps, just makes me remember it a lot. His voice is very distinct, and for I think a song that's into this rage genre, it just really stands out a lot. I don't know why, but again, his voice, his cadence, his hunger in this song, it's like the world owes him everything. At number 11, I have "Like WEEZY" by Playboi Carti. Short, sweet, simple, and nostalgic are the words I really have for this song. I don't know why, but like the sample, like I know it's reversed and chop, because it sampled this one song. I forgot the name, but it was like probably in the Bling era. The entire purpose of the music album, of course, was supposed to be more of like a playlist or mixtape type album where it's like it doesn't really have a cohesive order. But this song really stood out to me because it was very short, and like the production aside of it being like top notch, it's just like it puts a smile to my face. I don't know why, but I remember like catching myself smiling like an idiot, like just in the shower, like listening to the song, just like bumping my head and stuff. It was just one hell of an experience listening to this song for the first time. And anytime I played this song, I just feel like a kid again. It's just something like so vibrant and so catchy and fun of listening to this. At number 10, there's "Funny Papers" by Mac Miller. This is one of the deepest and darkest songs I ever heard. Especially given that this song was recorded during a time that he was making Faces, probably around the early 2010s mark, and it's now being released to the general public. Again, like just listening to this song, considering that Mac unfortunately passed away, hits 10 times harder than what it has to hit. It's almost him like it's almost like him predicting his death, and some of these lines are just like strangely precise, especially given to how Mac passed away, unfortunately. It almost feels like he's like reading off his obituary or something. Like, it's really deep, but I feel that it's just very, I guess, like reflective of his life. Like, despite the darkness, there's still a lot of hope with him as well. I don't know, just kind of how I feel, but it's definitely one of the best written hip hop songs I've heard this entire decade. At number 9, I have "Protect the Cross" by JPEGMAFIA. This is supposed to be a song of the deluxe version of "I Laid Down My Life With You." Hopefully I said the title correctly. I love that album. But yeah, this song is explosive, has an insane amount of levels, has an insane amount of layers and stuff and structures. And I was just blown away by, like, this song straight up sounds like a WWE like wrestling anthem. Whenever like a wrestler walks in, this is exactly what it sounds like, and I feel that was the intention, given that Peggy is a huge wrestling fan. But yeah, really nothing much to say, but Peggy is screaming his ass off, and the production is like punk rock meets hip hop, basically. Number 8, I have "Cry For Me" by The Weeknd. Easily one of the catchiest pop songs I've heard the entire year. The production is silky and smooth. The way that this song transitioned to the previous song on the "Hurry Up Tomorrow" album is just perfect, honestly, especially from the first time I was listening to it. And if you just pick apart this song and just listen to it apart, it still hits. The production is still top notch. The 808 is just like thick as hell, and I feel that The Weeknd's voice is just like absolutely angelic throughout this entire song. At number 7, I have "We're Outside Rejoice" by McKinley Dixon. McKinley Dixon had a lot of passion put into the song, because you could tell the way this starts off a bit slow to then progressing even quicker and quicker and quicker. More of the jazz saxophones joining in, the chorus segment, this like choir that joins in, the rejoice, rejoice. McKinley Dixon kind of like bringing like this element of hope after experiencing so much fear throughout the album during the lyrics and stuff. It just feels like just super positive, and it reminds me of just the better elements of his music. Despite there being so much darkness in his lyrics, there's also a lot of hope, and that's what he represents throughout his craft. It's like hope despite going through the craziest and tumultuous moments of his entire life. At number 6, we have Psychoboost by Jane Remover and Danny Brown. It is like eargasmic, basically, the way Jane Remover utilizes Pokemon sounds. I believe they said that they use Pokemon samples and clips for the entire album too, which I believe was Revenge Seekers, which is incredible. But this song, man, was an entirely different like echelon compared to the other songs. It is like an EDM like festival almost. Like it's like you could visualize people doing a mosh pit to this song by how crazy it is. And Danny Brown's verse, the second time he comes in, it is absolutely mind-blowing, the amount of energy he puts into that verse. It's like they both have an insane amount of fun. And Jane's voice is absolutely incredible as well, the way they utilize the voice. At number 5, I have Ensalada by Freddie, Gibbs, and The Alchemist. This is smooth. Anderson .Paak, one hell of a feature, man. It is just incredible. Like the hook, the way he delivers it is just really, really, really well delivered. I think what's crazier is that Ensalada, aside of it being a refreshing and smooth song, it has a lot of deep lyrics. Like, I think Gibbs kind of mentions this song that he's like constantly like, I guess, arguing against himself almost every single time because he feels that he's like going against the world, almost like fighting at points like almost like suicidal tendencies. Like there's a lot of deep stuff going to the song, but the production by The Alchemist is refreshing and smooth and just silky. And again, like Anderson .Paak's verse, it's almost like it's just a perfect like complement. It's just like supplement to the song. Everything just glues in together so perfectly, to the point that it's just an easy contender for one of the best songs of the year. At number 4, I have BAILE INoLVIDABLE by Bad Bunny. This is a perfect tribute to Puerto Rican music, traditional Puerto Rican music, just everything that embodies Puerto Rican culture. As a Puerto Rican myself, I feel that this is one of the most like probably the best tributes, one of the best tributes in the history of Puerto Rican music. Like generally, like no glazing, it just kind of is. I think the way that Bad Bunny expresses himself throughout the song, it feels like he's riffing for like 5 or 6 minutes, but in a way that's just so natural. It's a song supposed to be like played in like family gatherings. A song supposed to be played like down the streets in San Juan or wherever you are in Puerto Rico. It just feels like so natural. And you can tell that he just did not want to mess the song up. And you can just feel like the amount of joy and passion put into making that song. The production is beautiful. The choir, everything included to the song is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And it is without a doubt one of the best songs that Bad Bunny has ever put out together. Probably a top 5 song ever. It's generally, again, just mind-blowing the way he managed to organize and orchestrate this. It's generally, it makes me emotional sometimes just of how good and well put together the song is. At number 3, I have Alicia by Lorien, Testard, and Alice Duport-Percier, which is part of the Expedition 33 soundtrack. What a masterpiece. This song blew my mind away the minute I like loaded up the main menu of Expedition 33, which is also a masterpiece of a game. But yeah, this song, soul crushing, especially after you beat the game and understand what the song is about. But even if you don't even play the game, you can still really love and understand, I guess, what the song is trying to get at. It's just like, wow, man. Like, I mean, I've heard a ton of orchestral OSTs from video games and stuff, but this song really hit, like, gave me goosebumps, made me cry. It gave me all the emotions. And there's, like, a side of this song that it's like the way it ends is very, like, somber and, like, dark, but the way it begins is almost, like, hopeful, almost like serenading the Alicia character. And I don't know, man, just the feelings it provokes. I mean, obviously the song is in French, but even like this song just transcends the language barrier. Like I feel that anybody can just absolutely adore this song. And it's just really a testament to how far music and gaming has come. Number 2, I have Vortex by Kamasi Washington. I will admit I haven't heard that much Kamasi Washington, not as much as I wanted to, but of course I have heard him in other albums like Spin Butterfly, for example, and some bits and pieces here and there. But man, this song is probably going to be the song that's going to make me binge listen to his entire discography, because what a masterpiece. This is supposed to be the opening for the anime Lazarus by Shinichiro Watanabe, who also, put together Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. But as an opening, this is like mind-blowing. I mean, even as a song itself, like I've listened to the entire song like a billion times at this point, and it's a 7 or I think 8 minute like progressive jazz track, which has saxophones, strings, a super catchy bass line, a crazy electronic guitar part in the midsection of the song, or almost at the ending, and the way it like transitions to how it was in the beginning, the drum playing. You can tell that Kamasi wanted to make this song absolutely incredible, because there was never once a slow beat to the song. Like, I mean, like boring part. There was never once a boring segment of the song. It felt like it was constantly just being to something bigger and better and grander and bolder. It genuinely is a mind-blowing tribute in just a song. You can tell that Shinichiro Watanabe really picked the perfect person to score the opening for Lazarus. So we finally reached the number 1 spot. Which song was my favorite song of the year? I had to go with So Be It by Clipse. This song is generally what hip-hop was missing. If last year taught us anything about, how competition was really relevant in terms of the hip-hop space, So Be It, if anything, really solidifies that concept and goes even further, because these are 2 legends who haven't released music in the past 15 or 16 years, aside of Malice and Pusha T maybe doing some solo ventures here and there, but as a duo, they haven't released anything in 15 to 16 years. And they came back with this song and, God sorted them out and freaking destroyed the competition essentially with this song. So Be It is a masterpiece. It just embraces what it is. Just step on, talk your shit basically. Don't be afraid of anything. No filter. This is how we're doing it. It's raw, unfiltered, pure hip hop material. Pusha T starts off incredibly strong. Malice just goes even further. These guys, I know they're brothers, but it's like they're a match made in heaven, basically. Just the way they're trading bars left and right. It's like they've been studying each other moves and complement each other super perfectly. These guys are like if we had 2 different versions of Perfect Cell, the way they're copying all the moves from the Dragon Ball series. It's genuinely just perfectly synchronized. They have their style, they have their flow and uniqueness. And if anything, they've improved the way they've written their stuff from those 16 years ago. It's genuinely mind-blowing the way they just even go the extra mile with this song. And of course, how can you forget the perfect production by Pharrell Williams? That beat, the I think Arabic sample that he chopped, crazy. 808 blew my speakers away. That is how you make a hip-hop beat. But yeah, that's all I had to say. This list was a really hard list to make. All these songs are bangers. Please give it a listen. It doesn't even matter what placement there is. Everything is bound to change at some point, especially with personal preference and taste. But the point is that you should definitely give all of these songs a listen at some point. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, turn notification bell on if you want to see more uploads from me. And also in the comment section, leave your best songs to the list too. I always read your comment sections and stuff, and I always like being engaged with the music community. Really want to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, that'll be it. I'll be working on the best albums of 2025 list soon. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.